Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I don't think this is a major development. I think these kind of conversations occur in uh, chancelleries or the elites in Turkey, which is should we leave NATO or we shouldn't leave NATO. Well, I personally don't think that Turkey will ever leave NATO because they can basically do whatever they want. So being in NATO, they want to make sure that they are not attacked by Americans, like in 2016. Remember that coup? Some people say it was the big boss. But anyway, so that's one thing. And the other one, NATO needs Turkey big time for its strategic, geostrategic position and all that. But hey, let's see what this former retired admiral, he urges Turkey to leave NATO. See what kind of arguments he brings to support his urge. So this comes from the Sputnik, the evil Sputnik. Retired admiral urges Turkey to leave NATO. This article is from today, April 30th, 2023. Let's see what's going on. I think Turkey has like the third military in NATO or something big as numbers. Turkey became member of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO, in 1952 amidst the dawn of the Cold War. However, many questioned the prudence of entering this obviously militaristic bloc. Remember, this is Sputnik, okay? And I'm quoting. The West, why am I saying that? Because they're going to obviously see. Many questioned the prudence of entering this obviously militaristic bloc. I mean, this is obvious, public opinion forming. And I'm quoting, which is okay. We find the same thing on the other side. And I'm quoting, the West poses a greater threat to Turkey, taking into account its support for attempts to create a separatist Kurdish state, end quote, claimed retired Admiral Cem Gurdeniz in an interview. He added that Ankara must immediately leave NATO. Well, I don't know if that's really but anyway, that's his statement, that's his opinion. He knows shit. So hey, let's keep reading here. Referring to the beginning of the clandestine war by the Kurdistan Workers' Party PKK, coined a terrorist organization by Ankara in 1984, Gurdeniz stated that Western countries do not support Turkey in the ongoing conflict. That is true. And I'm quoting, how many thousands of people have died in the southeast of Turkey since 1984? How many problems Turkey has in other areas, but we do not receive any support from NATO or the EU, said the retired admiral. He added that statements on Turkey made by EU authorities or the US Senate made it, and I'm quoting, clear who is our friend and who is our enemy, end quote. The Turkish admiral voiced his concern that NATO might drag Ankara into a conflict via the Ukrainian crisis. He alleged that in his case Turkey would be forced to close the straits for Russia, and this would be a sensus belli for full-scale conflict between Russia and NATO with use of tactical nuclear weapons. Gurdeniz believed that NATO Secretary General Stoltenberg realizes the risk, but he is an American puppet, end quote, and that's why he rushes in to admit Ukraine to NATO. He also stated that the US has been using, and quote unquote, Ankara since 1945, and before that the United Kingdom has treated Turkey the same way. He believes that his country must get rid of this, and I'm quoting, Anglo-Saxon dependence, end quote, at any reasonable cost, and pursue its own independent policy, balancing between the Atlantic and Asia. At the same time, the retired admiral admitted that withdrawal from NATO would mean inevitable conflict with Greece. However, An even bigger threat to regional security comes from the reported Western project of turning the Black Sea into a quote-unquote NATO lake. Gurdeniz slammed NATO for misleading Turkey about USSR goals and casting the Kremlin in black tones. The aim of this policy was to turn Turkey into a Western satellite, he claimed. He believes that Turkey should forge a geopolitical alliance with Russia, China, and India and develop closer contacts with other BRICS countries. Well, this admiral stated that they do not get any help from NATO into fighting the Kurds. Is there an interdiction for Turkey to fight the Kurds? I guess it is. From whom? From the NATO ally, United States of America. So, if you have this big problem with the Kurds and Kurdistan, and United States stands in your way, what are your options? Well, if you stay with United States, you're going to have this weasel situation. If you turn into Russia, do you think you're going to challenge United States in Kurdistan or Kurdish area of Syria and south of Turkey? I mean, what are the other options? You either with the Russians, China and India, and so on BRICS countries, or you with the Americans. If you say that you are with the Russians, obviously the Americans will be deploying more military personnel and weapons in your southern border in Syria. Are you going to attack United States of America? I don't think so. So what are you going to do? The only chance that they have in Kurdistan, or I'm not using Kurdistan to anger my Turkey friends, but I'm going to use it as the territory where the Kurds are located, okay? Let's put it this way. Let's say southeast Turkey, northeast Syria, that area. Now, obviously the Americans are not on your side on that one, but you're going to jump on the other boat, you're going to be at war with Russia, with the United States of America. Can you do anything about it? Well, I think this is something that it depends on what's going on in Ukraine right now and how the cards are reshuffled and redealt on the table. That's what matters. Because if Russia collapses, then the other side will have China probably alone. And I don't know if India will stick by China, since they have their own little problems, if you know what I mean. So it will be a big blow to the other club. So how does Russia collapse? If you have Putin and about 300 people just taken care of overnight. You can't have it in a week or 2 weeks, because by then you have some generals, they're going to put their claw on nuclear weapons. They're going to say, get out. And they will get the fuck out. I guarantee you that. So that's why they have to do it fast in one night, like the what was the night of the crystal night, crystal nacht, whatever it was, right? By those evil guys. So anyway, history repeats itself, and will repeat itself. Just the actors will have different names. Okay. Thank you very much for. Why? Because we are human. That's why. And we have the same interests, which are, I want what you got, and you want what he's got, and we're gonna take it one way or another. If I have this, I will just take it. If I don't have this, I will wait for an opportunity to somehow steal it when nobody looks. So I don't know. I don't think Turkey will leave, and I think it's in it, as I said, is going to be at war with probably Greece. Greece will provoke something, and then NATO will attack Turkey, even though I don't think so. Well, Turkey doesn't have nuclear weapons, so I think it's not going to be a big deal. It's going to be the same thing as is in Russia right now. Since Russia doesn't use nuclear weapons, it's a conventional war, which is who has more resources and is patient will win. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.